Hello and welcome to IP Lesson. In this lesson, we will continue working with Packet Tracer. We already spoke about the user mode, privilege exec mode, global mode, and the sub-configuration mode. Today we need to use the Packet Tracer in order to monitor those modes. So let's open our Packet Tracer. So here is the Packet Tracer. I'm gonna go to Network Devices, choose Switches, and then choose one of the switches, drag it and drop it here. Then I will click on my switch, click on CLI, and right now my switch is doing the post power on self test. After that, because my switch is a new switch and it doesn't have any configuration, so there is no saved startup configuration. Right now, my switch is asking me if I would like to enter the initial configuration dialog. So this dialog will walk me through configuring my device. So if I enter the initial configuration dialog, I will start configure my switch, configure the host name, enable a password for my switch, configure management interface, and configure SNMP. SNMP is a protocol meant to monitor my switch, but I don't want to do that right now. So here it gives me two options, press yes or no. So I will put no right here, press enter again, and right now I am in the user exec mode. I know that because I have the host name, which is switch. After the host name, there is a greater than sign. So here we have our modes. First mode, user exec mode. As you can see, it has the host name. The host name for our switch is switch right now, and then greater than, as you can see here also. If I want to move from the user exec mode to the privilege exec mode, I can do the command enable. Enable will take me from the user exec mode to the privilege exec mode. If I would like to move to the global configuration mode, I can do configure terminal. From the global configuration mode, if I would like to move to one of the sub-configuration modes, for example, the line console sub-configuration mode, I can do the command line console 0. So let's do our commands and see what will happen. So here I can do enable. Enable will take me to the privilege exec mode. As you can see right now, I have the host name. After the host name, I have the bound sign. If I would like to move to the global configuration mode, I can do configure terminal. So right now I am in the global configuration mode because I have host name and the word config between parentheses, then the bound sign. So let's move to the sub-configuration mode, the line console mode. So we can do the command line console 0. So as you can see, the sub-configuration mode is very similar to the global configuration mode. The only difference is that we have a short description here near next to the word config. So this short description word explains which sub-configuration mode we are in right now. So right now we are in the line console sub-configuration mode. We are right here. If we would like to exit from that mode and go back to the global configuration mode, we can do the command exit. If we would like to exit from the global configuration mode to the enable mode or the privilege exec mode, we can do the command exit. And if we would like to get back to the user exec mode, we can do exit again. If we are in the global configuration mode or any sub-configuration mode and we would like to exit and go directly to the enable mode, we can do the command end, or simply we can press Ctrl and Z at the same time. So let's get back to our switch. So if we would like to get back to the global configuration mode, we can do the command exit. Exit again, it will take us to the privilege exit mode. If we would like to get back to the user exit mode, we can do exit again. Let's get back to the line console mode. Enable. Configure terminal. Line console 0. So right now we are in the line console sub configuration mode. We can do the command end, and this command will take us to the privilege exit mode right away. Let's test that. We can do end. As you can see right now, I am in the privilege exit mode. There is some features that we can use with Cisco CLI. Those features can help us to complete our command and to find the commands that we need to do in our switch. So we can use the question mark or we can use the tab key. Let's get back to our switch and see how those features can help us. So the question mark and the tab key can be used in any of the CLI modes. Let's do a question mark in the user exit mode. As you can see right here, it shows me what is the commands that I can do in the user exit mode. So here is the command, and this is a short description of what is that command will do. One of those commands is show command. Show command will show us running system information. So let's type show here. And I can do the question mark again. Right here it show me what is the commands that I can use with the show command. At the end right here, it's telling me that there is more commands that I can use here. In order to see those commands, I can press on the space. So those all the commands that I can do here with the show command. So I can do show VLAN, for example. VLAN is right here. I can press space and do the question mark again. Here is the options that I can do with show VLAN command. So I can do show VLAN brief, show VLAN ID, show VLAN name. Let's see the commands that we can do on the user exit mode again. So those all the commands that we can do on the user exit mode. Let's go to the enable mode. Let's do the question mark again. As you can see in the enable mode or the privilege exit mode, there is more commands that we can do more than the user exit mode. And as we mentioned before, in the privilege exit mode, we can see some configuration in our device, and we can do a very limited configuration here. So we can do clock, for example, and the clock will allow me to set up the time on my switch. So I can do a question mark again. As you can see here, I have the option to put clock set, space, question mark again, and it show me the format of the times that I can use here to set up the time on my switch. Let's go to the global configuration mode. Right now I am in the global configuration mode, so I can do question mark here. Press on the space bar in order to see all the commands that I can do here. Press space again. And as you can see here in the global configuration, I have more commands that I can do. Those commands will configure my switch. Besides that, I can also move to the sub configuration mode. So I can do the command line right here, and this will take me to the line console mode. And also I can do configuration for SSH or Telnet using the line command. So let's see that. I can do line space question mark. So line console 0, as we did before, it will take me to the line console sub-configuration mode. I can do line VTY. Line VTY command will allow me to do a configuration related to SSH or Telnet. So as you can see, the question mark is very helpful, and it will help me to find the commands that I want to execute in my switch. Let's get back to the enable mode. So we can simply put end. And now let's see the tab. Tab key will automatically complete the word for me. Instead of trying to type configure terminal, for example, I can put the word CON, press tab, and it will complete the word to me. So let's see that. If I put conf and I will press tab right now, it completes the word to me. If I put TE, press tab, it will complete the word to me. So let's enter the global configuration mode. Let's put LIN, press tab, it will complete the word. Let's put CON, press tab, and it completes the word to me. So let's ask a question here. How our switch found the command that I was looking for? For example, how it finds that I am looking for the command line. In order to use the tab key, we have to put enough letters to specify more the command that we are looking for. Let's do a question mark here again. As you can see, the commands start with L. We have line, LLDB, logging, and login. So if we put L only, our switch will not be able to find the command line, because logging, LLDB, login, line, all of those words start with letter L. So let's test that. Let's put L only and press tab. As you can see, it couldn't find the command. We can also do the question mark to see the commands that start with L. So we have line, LLDB, logging, and login. If we put LI, there is no other command start with LI. Our switch will be able to find the command line. Let's try that. LI, press tab, and it found the command. In the CLI, we can use also the command do. If we are in the global configuration mode or any of the sub-configuration modes, and we would like to do a command from the privilege exec mode, we can use the command do. So let's go back to our switch and see what is command do. So we are back in our switch. Let's do enable. Let's see the commands that we can do here again. One of the commands is ping. So let's test this command, ping 1.1.1.1. The command is working right now. So ping command is a privilege exec mode command. So let's go to the global configuration mode. And let's do a question mark to see if we have the ping command here or no. As you can see, we don't have the ping command. So we don't have ping. And also if we take a look here, do, we have the command do. So do will run exec commands in the global configuration mode. So let's test that. Let's do the command do, then type ping. Let's test ping first. So ping 1.1.1.1, and as you can see, it's telling me that this is an invalid input. So let's do the command do ping 1.1.1.1. As you can see, the command is working right now. So if I am in the global configuration mode or the sub configuration mode, and I would like to do a command that can be executed in the privilege exec mode, I can do the command do without going back to the privilege exec mode. We spoke before about the running configuration and the startup configuration. And we mentioned that any configuration that we will do in our switch, it will be saved on the running configuration. And if we disconnect the power to our switch, we will lose the running configuration. And in order to avoid that, we have to move the configuration from the running configuration to the startup configuration. So any configuration on the startup configuration will not be lost if we disconnect the power or if we reload our switch. And the commands to move the configuration from the running configuration to the startup configuration is copy running configuration, startup configuration, or we can simply do the command right. So here is an example of the commands that we're gonna do in our switch. We will change the host name. And in order to do a configuration, most of the time we have to be in the config or the global config mode. So we're gonna change the host name, and we can change it from the global configuration mode. And we will reload our switch to see what will happen with the running configuration when we reload our switch. We're gonna do the same thing again, but the second time we will move the configuration from the running configuration to the startup configuration. So let's go back to Packet Tracer. So let's go to the network devices, switches, drag one switch and drop it. Click on our switch, click on CLI. I will press no. We need to learn a new tip here. Instead of trying to type configure terminal or typing conf, for example, press tab, and T, press tab. Let's delete that. So instead of trying to typing configure terminal or typing conf and then press tab, I can put conf only, and my switch will understand that I'm trying to put the command configure. So let's do that. Let's put conf, and after configure, terminal is the only option that we have that start with T. So if I put T only, my switch will be able to understand that I'm looking for the command configure terminal, and it will do it correctly. So let's press enter and see what will happen. And as you can see, my switch understand that I'm trying to do the command configure terminal. So let's put host name. So here I put HOS and then press tab. It completes the word to me. So let's change the host name to SW1. Let's press enter. And right now, the host name is using SW1 name. Let's exit from here and reload our switch. Here it's telling me system configuration has been modified. Would you like to save? So save here will move my configuration from the running configuration to the startup configuration, but I don't want to do that. in order to see what will happen with the running configuration. So I will type no, press enter, enter again. And as you can see, it's asking me right now if I would like to enter the initial configuration dialog. So I will type no, press enter, and as you can see here, the host name didn't change it after I reload. The reason of that, because I reloaded my switch and the configuration wasn't saved on the startup configuration. It was saved on the running configuration and I lost it because I rebooted my switch. So let's do the same thing. So I'm gonna go to enable conf t configure terminal. I will change the host name is w1, press enter, and right now I'm gonna do the command write. Press tab, write, press enter. Let's reload our switch. Reload, confirm. So let's press enter. And as you can see, I didn't lose my configuration because I moved my configuration from the running configuration to the startup configuration. In our switch, we have something called history buffer. So any commands we will enter in our switch will be saved in this history buffer until it becomes full, and then it will start to erase the old commands and add a new commands to the history buffer. In order to test that, we're gonna do those commands in our switch and see what will happen. So let's get back to our switch. So this is a new switch. I'm gonna do those commands in order: enable, show running config, show IB interface brief, show interface status, and show CDB neighbors. After that, we want to monitor the history. So let's go back to my switch here, enable, show running config, show IB interface brief, show interface status, and show CDB neighbors. So we did all of our commands, and also we did a small mistake here. So let's see the history. In order to see the history, we can use our up arrow. So let's click on the up arrow. It shows me the last command that we did, which is show CDB neighbors. I will press the up arrow again. It shows me the command show interface status. And this commands, we did it before the show CDB neighbors. Let's press the up arrow again. It shows me the commands that I did. This is the incorrect command. So it even showed me the incorrect commands that I did on my switch. Let's press again, again, until enable. Enable is the first command I did here in my switch. I can press also on the down arrow and it will show me the command that I did after enable command. I can press down arrow again. And as you can see, it shows me all the commands that I did in sequence. I also can use the left arrow or the right arrow key in order to move my cursor. So I'm using the left arrow right now, the right arrow. So let's see the history commands. Show history. Press enter, and as you can see here, it show me all the commands that I did on my switch in order. When the history buffer is full, it will start to delete the oldest command and add new command. The last features that we want to see with Cisco CLI is an error message that can help us to detect any error we have in our command. The first message that we can see in our switch is invalid input. So we will see a caret sign, and this will help us to identify where is the problem or what is the problem with our command. We have also the message ambiguous command. Ambiguous command refers that we didn't enter enough letters to uniquely identify a word. So if we type CO in the privilege exec mode, and we meant by that configure, there is another words start with CO also. So our switch will not be able to identify the command that we want to do in our switch. So let's get back to our switch to see those error messages. So right now I am in the global configuration mode. Let's do IB OOSPF. Press enter. And as you can see, the caret character is under the O in my command. And it's saying here invalid input detected. So this means that IB command is correct, but I see this error because there is no command called OOSPF comes after IB. Let's see another example. So I will put router OSPF. Let's put Cisco. And as you can see, the command router and OSPF after this command is valid and correct. But I see this message because Cisco is not a valid command here. So let's see the ambiguous command. Let's exit and type CO space T. As you can see right here, it's saying ambiguous command. And this means we didn't enter enough letters to uniquely identify the word. So if we did a question mark here, we're gonna see more than one command start with CO. So we have configure, we have connect, we have copy. For that reason, our switch couldn't know the words that we meant by CO, because there is configure, there is connect, there is copy. But if we put CONF, as you can see here, there is no other word start with CONF except configure, and our switch will be able to detect this word. So let's see that. Conf, press tab, and it found it. This is the end for this video. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.